chilling by the sea in my hometown. Oh. And it's so windy. I almost forgot how windy it is. I hope you can hear me. Look, this is where I'm from. Welcome to my home. I'm from Brighton. Well, I grew up in Worthing actually. Worthing in West Sussex in England. But I'm from Brighton. How beautiful. So I did a Q&A on my Instagram the other day because, well, I posted my last vlog basically just with a little update when I was in London, but you guys had so many more questions about like Belle and Luke. Let's get into a Q&A. First of all, let's get some coffee because it's cold. Oh, that is the sound of home. We don't have a sand beach here, but this is what we've got. So strange, when I'm travelling I say hello to everyone like salam, salam, gamajuba, and here it's just like, it's not like that. I just said hello to the guy who was doing the bins, the bin man, and he seemed happy to say hello. $3.90 for a cappuccino. Well, thanks everyone for all your coffees you sent me, they really do go far. Right, I'm here, the sun's coming out, it started to rain, I've got my coffee, let's get into it. Where are you originally from? I'm from Brighton in the UK, or actually Worthing. First to last Turkey vlog, you've grown and matured so much, do you feel that too? Yes, I absolutely do. When I look back at the old vlogs in Turkey, like back in March, April time, I actually see in my face and like, just like the way I look, how matured I am. Maybe that's due to all the stress of the journey and I've actually just aged rapidly and got grey hair and wrinkles. Oh, I don't know, but yeah, I definitely do feel like I've matured a lot, that's for sure. Were you and Luke together? Oh no, were you and Luke tougher before you went down to Turkey to walk with him? So before I joined Luke in Turkey, me and Luke were just friends at the beginning of the trip. How did you and Luke meet? We met in Vietnam a few years ago when I was backpacking there and he lived there or worked there, or I think maybe he was backpacking there too. Did you face a lot of judgment, opposition for living your life, chasing your dreams? Yes, absolutely. It's really tough on this one, you know, because I feel like maybe a lot of pressure and judgment from people that should be supporting you the most. My mum and my dad like are so supportive of me like chasing my dreams and travelling and like living my best life and, you know, just trying to do what makes me happy. And there's certain people. That bird's just thrown a stone. What? Oh, it needs it. Anyway, yeah, there's certain people that make me feel like I need to settle down, I need to get like a proper office job and like have stable income and like do the things that a normal 27-year-old should be doing. But that word should be doing is like, it's just not me. Yeah, anyway. I got loads of questions. I'll do questions that are walk related now to begin with, and then I'll go into like other questions not so much related to the walk. Have you and Luke broken up? No, absolutely not. We are in other sides of the world supporting each other from afar, and we'll be meeting back up again next week. Favourite country you've been to and a song that takes you back to that place? Oh, that's a nice question. Favourite country on the walk is Turkey. That's where it all began, that's where it all like felt magical to me. And to be honest with you, I don't know any Turkish songs. Luke used to play one and it was like da 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 Istanbul ba ba ba. I don't know what it is called. Is Belle in Kazakhstan, or did she fly with you to London? So Belle doesn't actually have the correct blood test results in order to fly back to Europe. We tried to get her some when we first got her, but she needs more, and they're really expensive. So Belle is with a pet sitter in Kazakhstan with a friend who we met. And yeah, she's happy. She's running around at the beach and stuff. They send us updates all the time. So yeah, and we'll be seeing her next week. I can't wait to give that little munchkin a cute little face ruffle. Does it get challenging doing the trip with your partner, or has it made you stronger? Wow. I mean, I can't say it's made us stronger because I can't compare it to anything from before me and Luke got together on the trip. And it definitely has its challenges. You know, we're with each other 24/7. There's no, like, you know, we eat together, we walk together, we rest together, stuff like that. We do try and take space apart when we can, like when we need. Like for example, I got my own Airbnb just for a few days. I just needed my own space, you know. But it definitely does, like, bring us closer together. We, you know, when you travel with someone, you see every single part of them. There's no hiding. And yeah, I feel like we understand each other on a real deep level, and it's good. So yeah, it's definitely made us strong. And if you are with your partner, go travelling with them and you can discover more about them, honest to God. How much does your backpack weigh? When I first came out here, I think it was like 12 kilos, but I had an Osprey pack and it wasn't lightweight. Now I think I've got down to like 10 kg, something like that. I don't know, it always fluctuates depending on like how much food and water we've got. And also, like, I've just bought a whole load of new clothes because it's going to be cold in the desert where we're going. How old are you? I'm 27. Have you ever been to Brazil? No, I haven't, but I have been to Colombia, Peru, Bolivia and Chile. What did you do before the travel bug got you? I think I've always had the travel bug, to be honest. I first went travelling in 2017 and never really looked back. Is it good to be home? So good. Do you know, like, when I got home, Dad picked me up from the airport at midnight and then got back, had a cup of tea at 1 in the morning, and it was the best goddamn cup of tea I've had this whole year. So good. How do you guys manage to fight against mosquitoes in Azerbaijan? Oh, the mosquitoes that come out at night are absolutely horrendous. Long sleeves, long trousers, bug spray. If you're like camping, start a fire because the smoke normally deters bugs. Maybe just stay indoors. Use DEET. That's what I say. Use DEET. Will you be continuing your walking journey? If yes, will you be going through India? Yes, so like I said before, I'm going to be flying back to Kazakhstan next week, and then we're going to be walking through the desert, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, Myanmar, Thailand, Cambodia and Vietnam. So yes, India is on the route. We're going to be crossing in through Pakistan, although there is some conflict at the border at the moment. So potentially might have to, well, divert that, but yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. We've still got a long way to go before we get there. But yeah, we plan to walk through the north of India, and hopefully we can take some time as well to actually explore India, you know, like see other places as well besides from the walk, just like we did when we were in Georgia. It's nice to actually be able to appreciate a country that you're walking through rather than just stick to the road and travel through it, because what's the point in going somewhere if you don't actually see it? What will be the hardest to leave in UK besides friends and family? You know, leaving my friends and family is the hardest part. And especially because when I leave, I never know how long I'm going to be away for until I'm back. Because when I first came out here, I was only meant to be walking the length of Turkey, and I said, see you in a month, and now it's been 8 months and I've come back. It's just like not being able, it's just like the time passing, going away, coming back, like things have changed. Dad's living in a new house, but besides from that, roast dinners, cooking for my mum and my dad. It's getting a bit chilly now. I might have to speed up and go and get some food. A woman question: how do you manage periods whilst on the walk? Amazing journey. I kind of just have to get on with it, to be honest with you. Luckily, they sell tampons in all the places I've been to so far. To be honest with you, yeah, I mean, if I ever need like a day off, then we'll be happy to take some time as you need. You need to listen to your body. But yeah, luckily I haven't really been too, luckily that it's not been too bad. I've been absolutely fine. I did come on when I was in the forest once. Where were we? And I was like, for fuck's sake. I think I was like peeing behind a bush or something, and I was like, damn it. But yeah, it's just like any other challenge we face. You just get on with it. You just be adaptable. Someone said they missed something. Why did I come back home? So the reason why I'm back home is because Luke wanted to go to Vietnam to help out with all the floods. So he flew there to do some fundraising. He's raised $60,000 and it's amazing what he's doing. I'm so proud of him. And I said to him to go to Vietnam, but I was feeling, I don't know if homesick's the right word. Someone said that I was acting like I'm struggling. I'm not struggling. I wasn't struggling. I just miss my family and my friends. Like, it's completely normal. And so my heart was telling me to come home, rest and recharge, and see my loved ones, and then meet him back in Kazakhstan. I would have liked to go to Vietnam with him, but I couldn't go to Vietnam with him and see my family and friends. Someone said, I can't believe you left the trek. I haven't left. Luke hasn't left. We've just put it on pause for the time being, and we'll be returning back on next week. Do you miss your bed? Yes, especially when we're camping. It's cold, I'm shivering, the ground's uneven, and I can't get a good sleep. I do miss my bed. What is your favourite food? Asian food. Asian food all the way. Favourite hobby? Travelling. Is travelling a hobby? I feel like that's just like my entire life. I like going to the gym, and I do miss going to the gym and having a good routine. Have you lived or worked in another country before? Yes, so I lived in Indonesia, and I also lived in Australia for 2 years and worked there as well. What motivated you to start the journey, and what keeps you going? When Luke asked me to join the trip, I said no. Why would I do that? Why would I walk to Vietnam with you? But I did miss the adventure. I'd come back to England from travelling, and I missed the lifestyle. I don't know if you realise, but there might seem like a bit of a contrast between the way I look right now and the way you normally see me in my other vlogs. And it's not just outside as well. Like, I feel different when I'm back at home, and I prefer the adventurous, free spirit feeling of just being on the road and travelling. And when I'm back home, I don't get that. So I think a tiny bit of persuasion, and that was all it took, because yeah, I love adventure. I'm always travelling, and I'm always the kind of person to say yes to a challenge. And so I guess, yeah, it wasn't too difficult for me to say yes. And as well, when you've travelled for 3 years, you think, okay, now what can I do that's like a bit more adventurous? Enjoy your break. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Do you think you'll go back out after Christmas and meet up with your partner again? No, the plan is to go out before Christmas. This will be mine and Luke's first Christmas together as well. I mean, it would be lovely to stay in England until Christmas and then go back out, but I feel like we do need to get going with the journey. Otherwise, we're never going to get to Vietnam. It would be nice, but I can't choose both. Are you scared to travel through Afghanistan as a woman? I love travel too, but would be too scared. Do you know, I absolutely am. And when I first agreed to go to Vietnam with Luke, Afghanistan was a country that I was like, I've met several other women who have been to Afghanistan before, and they have said that before they got there, they were really nervous, apprehensive, but as soon as they crossed that border, their nerves just dissipated and they weren't as scared. They realised that everything that they were worried about, like, it's just all in the media. But since coming home, my friends and family are like, don't go to Afghanistan, and they've kind of like put that fear back into me, even though I kind of already overcame it. And so, yeah, I am worried and scared, but we still got some time until we get to Afghanistan. I do want to go. I understand, like, everyone's concerns. Of course I do. But I also think that I want to form my own opinion of the place rather than just listening to what comes out in the news. What's your observation about Azerbaijan? Best and worst thing in Azerbaijan? Best thing, lula kebabs. And the worst thing, I don't know, there's not really anything bad I can think of, like, off the top of my head. When the F1 was on in Baku, all the prices were inflated, and also there's like crazy traffic in Baku at the moment because they've done all these roadworks and like dug up the roads, but they've not actually fixed them, so there's so much traffic at the moment. But yeah, nothing too crazy. Till the point you've reached, was it a safe travel overall? Did you find difficulty obtaining visas? Okay, so from Turkey to Kazakhstan so far, absolutely, I have felt safe most of the time. There's been a few instances where I haven't felt safe, but that's mainly because we were walking through bear territory and we were freaking out because we saw fresh bear prints. And obviously that's not ideal. We're in a place where like locals don't even go, like unless you've got a car. We spent 2 hours walking through bear territory, absolutely terrified, but we had our knives and our bear spray and stuff like that, and we got through it. There's been times where like a man pulled up to us in his car, but Luke was shouting at him something and then he drove off. I feel really safe when I'm with Luke, and you know, I'm really lucky. I completely can appreciate that this would be a totally different journey if I was travelling by myself, but I have solo travelled before, not like this to be fair, but when I do solo travel as well, I do feel safe solo travelling as well, but doing different trips, not anything like this. We were travelling for a while with a Finnish lady called Tang, who's amazing. She is a solo female traveller. She's walking around the world, spending 4 years. She has come across like instances that haven't made her feel safe more than I have because I'm with Luke, but she's still able to do it. She's still smiling, she's still strong, she's a real warrior, she's a real soldier. And so what I would say is, even if you're scared, you know, try not to let those fears and doubts dictate what you do. Don't live your life in fear. I've come back to England actually, and I've been like more anxious in London than I have on the entire trip. So, and when I first went out there, I was nervous about going to Turkey, and I went there and it was amazing. I'm gonna go sit somewhere else because it's freaking freezing cold. Oh, I was just walking along and I saw the bin man on the phone, and he was just talking, and then I heard him say, "Right, bye mum, love you." Oh, I don't know why, that just really touched my heart. Someone's asked me, are you going to write a book about your travels? Do you know what? I'd really love to, and I wouldn't even know like where to begin. It is something that I already looked at a couple of times before, but I would need to really knuckle down on like writing it, and I think it would just take more than like an afternoon of me getting like a surge of productivity, if that makes sense. This walk is really demanding, and I'm not sure how much time it would take to write a book. Maybe when I finish the walk, maybe that would be the perfect time to start writing a book. Would anyone actually be interested in reading it? And also, like, I don't want it to be a guide on like how you can travel. I want it to be more inspiring, like in the style of Paulo Coelho, who wrote The Alchemist. I would want it to be more like a novel. What about cost so far? Do you monitor it? Yes, actually, I have an app called Travel Spend. It's a free app from the App Store, and I input every single penny that I spend on there, just because I think it's so important to monitor like expenses, especially on a trip like this where, like, you know, I'm not working and I need to be careful about how much I spend. So it breaks down the categories: how much I spent on accommodation, how much I spent on food or coffees or like restaurants, stuff like that, and it's really useful. What age did you first start travelling and where did you go? I was 19 when I went to Australia for the first time. It was the very first travelling I ever did. I didn't really go on holidays when I was little, but the very first time I went away, or that maybe the second or third time I went away, Australia 2019, 3 months backpacking, and it was the best time of my life. Do you have any siblings? No, I don't have any siblings. It's just me, actually, which probably makes things worse for my parents. So, sorry. Look at that grey cloud behind me. That's just England all over, isn't it? How do you guys plan your routes? Do you use Google Maps for it? Yes, Google Maps is great. There's also other few apps called maps.cz, which is specifically for hiking. So it gives you trails and stuff that Google Maps wouldn't give you. But yeah, to be honest with you, Google Maps is fine, especially if we're just following the roads. What is the thing you find the most surprising in other cultures of the world? I think the most surprising thing is how misunderstood other cultures are. Everyone's friendly, everyone's kind and lovely, and I don't know, maybe there's just a lot of clash of the cultures, like, oh, this one's better, that one's better, and religion too, but everyone's lovely. I feel like there's no such thing as a bad culture, there's no such thing as a bad religion, there's only such thing as bad people, and I think more people need to understand that. Does it feel strange being back? Yes, when I first got back, I felt like I was in some sort of fever dream, and it's started to feel a bit more real now that I've been back for a few days. Wow, you can see the shadows of the cloud on the sea. Can you see there's like a darker line there? Normally means it's either deeper, or if it's darker it could mean that it's windier, but in this case I think it's the clouds. Yeah. Just a little sailing hack. What else? What happens after Vietnam? We walk from Vietnam to the UK? No, absolutely not. I think after Vietnam, it'd be nice to take some time to just relax, not settle down, but just have a little sturdy base for a few months. I miss having a routine. I miss eating healthy, going to the gym, and just not being on edge every day with my nervous system fried. But I think after that, we're talking about walking from Canada to Argentina, and I thought, oh, that won't be as bad, but I looked at the map and I think it might even be I think similar length to this trip, so I don't know, we'll see. But I would like to go back to South America with Luke. I can also practice my Spanish. I was only there for 3 months before, and my Spanish was pretty good after that, so maybe I can use that to solidify another language. Well done for listening to your heart and popping home. Thank you, I appreciate those kinds of messages. There's been a lot of trolls saying oh, this is the end of the so-called adventure. Well, it's our trip, it's not anyone else's trip. And if you don't like it, then, go and watch someone else. I'm not living my life around anyone else's rules. It's just, we do what we want to do. But thank you so much. I appreciate you saying that. How does it feel to be back home? I got home end of November. It's Christmas, peak festive season. Went to Tesco, which is a local supermarket. There's wrapping paper everywhere, Christmas trees, Christmas decorations, and it's just it feels like coming home and there's cooking on. It feels like warm comfort, and yeah, it's beautiful. I really love it. How did you manage to cross into Azerbaijan? I always read the land borders are closed. That is correct. The land borders are closed to go into Azerbaijan. But you can leave Azerbaijan, so they're not closed, they're just one way right now. So what we did from Georgia, so we walked to the border of Georgia and Azerbaijan from Tbilisi, and then we got a taxi back to Tbilisi, took a flight all the way to Baku in Azerbaijan, and then got a taxi. It took 5 or 6 hours all the way back to the border of Georgia and Azerbaijan, but this time on the Azerbaijan side. So we didn't miss any of the walking, we just didn't take that tiny bit of steps over the border because it was illegal. And then we continued walking through Azerbaijan as normal. How do you manage your finances with stay, food, etc.? Well, luckily I'm able to earn some money from YouTube, like you guys watching now, viewing this. It really helps, funds the trip. Draining my savings. Yeah, it's a juggling act, and it is part of the challenge, I guess. It's not just walking, it's also like trying to stay on top of finances, and yeah, there's a few things that goes on behind the scenes that you don't see that are part of the challenge as well, and that is one of them. But yeah, thank you for supporting my YouTube channel. If you want to leave a comment down below, then that will support the algorithm, which will push the vlogs, which will tell YouTube, oh, this is a good vlog, and then it'll push it to more people. And then when more people see it, then more people, more views equals more money. So I appreciate all your engagement and support. And if you feel like it, you can buy me a coffee in the link down below in the description. But no pressure, it's just in case some of you want to. Now that you're home, do you feel the need or desire to return to your trek? Yes, absolutely. Hang on, let me take a drink. There's a whole wind farm out here. I can see like a cargo ship. It shows a good spot for a wind farm, that's for sure. Yes, absolutely, I do feel the need and desire to return to the trek. I didn't come back because I quit or anything like that. I came back because I missed my friends and family and just wanted a little reset. But when I came back, I realised how much I love the trip. Everything, Luke, Belle, like every part of it. Even the down parts, even the parts where I'm crying in the tent because I sprained my ankle. Like, I love it. What's your favourite place that you've ever visited? So earlier I said Turkey was my favourite country of the trip, but out of all the places I've ever visited, for travel, I would say Peru. You've got the desert, you've got Machu Picchu, you've got like surfing in Lima. Peru and Bolivia definitely up there, but one place that really has my heart is Australia. And Australia will always be my second home, and I can't wait to get back there after the trip. Do you think it'll be tough to go back to the lifestyle of walking to Vietnam after coming home? It's always tough transitioning. Coming home feels odd for a few days, and then a few days before you leave it feels weird because then you've got to say goodbye to your family all over again, and you've got to go through the heartbreak and horror of it. I might struggle for the last few days in England and the first few days on the trip, but knowing me, I'm pretty adaptable and I'll be fine. But I might have a few tears. Do you know the Muffin Man? Someone said, do you know how many people you've inspired? Also, great hair. Well, thank you about the hair. And I don't know really how many people I've inspired. The first people I inspired was when I first went on my solo trip in Italy 2021, and I went on to help 3 people book their own solo trips. And that was like before I had like many followers or anything like that. But I mean, I can imagine it's a good few, and I hope that you guys are inspired by my journey. Not necessarily because I want you to go and walk a ridiculous walk from Turkey to Vietnam, but maybe just be a bit more adventurous during the times where you're not working. Maybe on the weekends, go out and do something fun rather than just scrolling on your phone or being at home sat on the sofa watching TV. Or even if it's going out to do something that you've always wanted to do but never really had the courage to do. I hope those are the kinds of things that I want to inspire. What motivates you every day? Is it youthful adventure or something more existential? It's both, to be honest with you. Yeah, that's a really good question. Before I came out on this trip, like I was back in the UK, I kind of finished travelling and I was like, right, what do I want to do now? I need to settle down, focus on my career, blah, 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 all of that stuff. Like I really felt the pressures coming back to England. And I had like a bit of an existential crisis, like what am I going to do? I ended up studying 2 courses in Brighton. I got 2 diplomas because I thought, well, while I don't know what to do, I may as well make use of my time. My passion and my love has always been with adventure, and this trip, it means so much to me because, I don't know, it kind of bonds the two. I'm living the adventure, I'm living the dream, but like not in a aimless travelling kind of way. Like, I actually have a purpose and like a challenge to do now. I'm not just backpacking around, like not knowing what I'm doing, which is what I've done before. And that can be a bit like tough, because you have those days where you're like, what the hell am I doing? That's a good dog. Aww. What else? Some questions on here are strange. What's your favourite thing about Luke? Oh, me and Luke, the moment we met, like, we just clicked instantly. It was like I'd met my best friend. We're very similar to each other in terms of like so willing to just go out and do crazy things. I don't know how many people would be like, yeah, I'll walk to Vietnam with you. And I don't know many people that would be walking to Vietnam that I would happily go and join. Luke's really adventurous, he's determined, he's funny, and I love him to pieces. I like the way that when I'm struggling, he kind of like helps me and motivates me, but not in the way that I'm used to. He's a bit of a tough love kind of person, I'll have to say, but yeah, he's the best. Best food I've had since being back in the UK, definitely Mum and Dad's cooking, that's for sure. It's got nothing to do with like this restaurant or that restaurant, it's all about home comforts for me. It's great to see what you guys are doing for Vietnam. When to expect your next travel vlog? I'm going to try and edit this and upload it today or tomorrow. What beauty products will you be bringing that you realised you needed? Do you know what? I've come home and I used my beauty serum and my moisturiser, and it's actually made me break out. And I think I've cracked the code in terms of how to, like, what beauty routine to have. I think the answer is just water. If I just use water, then my skin is fine. Bit of moisturiser too, but yeah, using my old beauty products has just made me break out. So I'll be getting rid of those. What is the biggest challenge you didn't see coming? Ooh, I think the longevity of it, because I never planned to be out for this long. Like 1 month or 2 months of intense travel is way different from like 2 years of intense travel. Yeah, longevity. What country are you looking forward to the most to explore? Oh, I'm excited to see what India's going to be like on the trip. But also I'm really excited for Thailand, because I've been there before and the food is divine. And I know we won't struggle to find good food in Thailand. Also nutritious food. Coming to America anytime soon. I was in America in 2018. I did a trip in LA, San Francisco, Las Vegas and Florida. And it was more of just like an extended holiday than backpacking or anything. But I don't know, I didn't really click very well with America, but maybe I can come back and try and change my mind. Is walking like always you share happy, energetic? Or is there lots of negative situations? I always had a heart attack reading that. I mean, there are a few negative situations sometimes, like people being rude or not being able to find food and water stops, things like that. No, we normally do, but like sometimes we'll have to like budget our water, or if it's been hot in the tent, or like if we've had a bad night's sleep camping, it's not always been good, but I never really sugarcoat anything. Maybe sometimes I do like focus more on the positives than the negatives. I think the key is to just, have a good mindset. It doesn't matter if anything bad happens, like it's always on the way you look at it. It's about your outlook on the situation. Someone said, how do I fund backpacking? And I kind of mentioned earlier how I fund the trip through YouTube and social media, and I'm really grateful for that. But before I was kind of like earning any income from that, I would earn money backpacking just by picking up jobs like in Australia, bartending, working on a sailboat or housekeeping, things like that. You don't really need a lot of money to travel. There are ways that you can minimise your costs or like try and earn some money while you're on the road. I lived in a hostel for a little bit and I was doing housekeeping for free accommodation, so it's just things like that you can be a bit savvy with. But if you want any more like in-depth about that, then I don't know, let me know and maybe I can answer your DMs or do another video about that. But yeah, that's kind of it for now. It's been a long Q&A. I didn't expect it to be this long. If I've missed anything, then drop your questions down below and I will try and answer them. But if not, then yeah, getting back to the walk next week, which I'm excited for, but I'm also just enjoying my precious time at home. When I get back to Kazakhstan, meet back up with Luke and Belle, we have got our carts ready. We're going to be walking through the desert. It's 3,300 kilometers through the desert until we get to Islamabad. Is it Islamabad? Until we get to Pakistan. So our desert countries are Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Afghanistan, and then Pakistan. And it's going to be crazy. So yeah, if you're not already subscribed, make sure you subscribe so you can watch the best part of the adventure so far. And yeah, thank you so much for watching and for your support, and I'll see you in the next vlog.